you go with Barnes or Lamar as a starter?
No. I'll kind of hold that. Although we do have to put one into the league, you'll know that tomorrow.
How about Luke? Is Luke in line for more playing time? He does run that triangle pretty well.
Yes.
I mean, is he somebody you're thinking about?
I think about him every day.
Did you guys discuss the trust issues that Drew brought up last
Yeah, I
week?
thought he was speaking about trusses. And my dad wore a truss, and I thought that's what he was speaking about. I don't know the trust issues. So we talked a little bit about trust issues.
For a guy down 0-2 in a series, you're remarkably silly and jovial right now.
I'd like to cry, but I can't right now. It's a game, and we know it's a game, and we play it. We play it hard, and we anticipate winning in Dallas.
So this team is obviously not in a good place mentally in terms of being focused for the last month or so. You're a guy that has always relied heavily on the mental approach. Are they not executing what you're telling them, or is your message not being delivered?
It's being delivered, and I think there's some matter of confusion out there. We're trying to straighten that out in the last 2 days.
Is that more of a technical thing?
Attribute the disconnect between that.
Disconnect between...
Oh, you're just talking about the message being delivered and there being...
Yeah, I think there's spaces on the floor that are confusing to our players. There's is various spots in the floor that we change our rotation, and I think it's confused the players. We had to get that straight again as to what that has to be.
So you were talking about?
Screen roll defense, the distance, the width of the court, which part of the court it happens on, all those things make a difference.
When you were talking about tired players, is their depth being a problem for you? They're using more players.
I don't know. This time of the year, I really shouldn't, every other day type of play shouldn't be an issue. But, I did notice some players were fatigued in the third quarter last night. It was surprising.
Do you find these problems now puzzling to you because even though you're the back-to-back champions?
No, they've done a good job. We just had to pull them up and say, recall Orlando, recall Phoenix, recall some of these things that we've done in the past, and you guys will summon back some of the things that you're familiar with.
Was communication a problem last night? Like Andrew kept imploring people to talk. Was that an issue that you saw?
It's always an issue. Talking is on the court, and guys getting that communication done, in a crowd, in an arena, on the moment.
Phil, you give the players a lot of leeway to kind of figure things out through the course of the season, but in a time like this that might be perceived as a bit of a crisis, what is your role just as a leader of this group, and how do you go about imparting a message?
Well, I thought the flogging message was really important last night that I imparted. So, I didn't flog them physically, but I did a little mental flogging today. So there's a little bit of that. Basically, it's about, some of the execution has to be refined to really get comfortable with it. And the other part about it is the defensive responsibilities on the floor, That Andrew, if, his guy gets 5 dunks in the process of having to come over and help, he has to come over and help the 6th time. It's as simple as that, and somebody else has to take responsibility for his guy. So that's the trust factor that he's thinking about.
So we've never seen Powell struggle when he wasn't, game to game, when he wasn't getting beaten up physically. Has he just lost some confidence?
I'm not sure. I told him last night I thought he was playing the right way and with the kind of intensity I like in the first half. Somehow or other, in the midst of all those little the 3-point shot with Kidd had and the mismatch that happened at that point, and a foul that he had that was a late call. I saw some frustration, and I didn't see him come in the second half with that same kind of intensity that he carries with him in the game.
Did you have a conversation with Ron about him getting kicked out?
No, I have not. I told him I anticipated he would get, and I did ask him about the first technical that he got, which was a poor call. I said, we try and get that one rescinded because that was a missed call in that process. But he said, yeah, I understand.
Didn't it seem rather strange it happened so late in the game?
Yeah, well, Ron was really trying to work hard. He got an offensive foul on a rebounding situation right before that where he chased the ball down and in the process kind of ran Marion into the bench. So I could see that he was getting animated about losing. And, those are things that we have to kind of watch.
Hey, Phil, so let me ask you one question.
For one
That's right.
What's your reaction to that?
Not surprised. I thought about it last year. That was long enough for me to think about it.
No sentimental?